Hi, this is Father Louis Skirty. I'm here at the St. Francis Xavier Cabrini Shrine for Tryon area of New York, Washington Heights. I'm here with the director of the shrine, Julia Ad- Attaway. Attaway. And we're doing a whole scenario of the life of Mother Cabrini, and we're here at this last segment of the mural, which is behind the main altar. And under the altar is the body of Mother Cabrini. So we're going to give us a little history of the beatification and the canonization of this beautiful woman, and then we'll look at the remains that are in the altar. So we're here. Let's talk about the history of when was she declared venerable, and what were some of the miracles, all that good stuff.
First, let's make sure she's dead.
Catholics like. Okay, before she travels there.
All right, she died in 1917 in Chicago, which is why the National Shrine is in Chicago.
Okay.
So she died.
So she died the year of Fatima. Interesting.
I know.
Yeah, 1917.
Right before the Spanish flu. And she was, from 1914 on, she was in the U.S. Before that, she'd been traveling a lot, but once the war started, you couldn't travel.
No.
You couldn't go by ship across the ocean. Obviously, you get torpedoed or whatever you got. So she was here, and she was in Chicago. She was worried about the war and its effect on the foundation over the institute over in Europe, but also concerned about the effect of food supply and things like that. She actually went outside of Chicago and bought a farm, so that
You need food, buy a farm.
so and chose the livestock herself. And she was a country girl, and from the beginning. So she, so she went and did that, so that everybody could be, the people in Columbus Hospital in Chicago could have food during the war, and died in 1917 at the end of December. And then she had wanted to be buried up in West Park, New York, which is where the big orphanage was. Mm-hmm. That orphanage housed about 200 kids. And it's a beautiful location. It's overlooking the Hudson. And so that's where she was buried initially. Then as the cause for her, her sainthood began, that would begin in about 1928. Mm-hmm. So that was just a little over a decade later. Mm-hmm. It was pretty fast, and especially back in those days, I was really fast. So in 1933, they moved her body down here. They had, Vatican. They did the whole exhumation of the body and examination, and then moved it down here into the chapel at Mother Cabrini High School, which was now, the building that is now there was by then Mother Cabrini High School. And then in 1938, when the beatification took place, that was when she was originally placed into a glass casket, which is technically a reliquary, right? That's which has 100 screws in the top and 8 wax seals, just in case you wondered.
And the reason for that is it has to be sealed in the presence of the Vatican officials, the local Catholic officials, and hierarchy to make sure there's no foul play with the body and the preservation of it.
Right. So then when the shrine was opened in 1959, then her body was translated and moved over here underneath the altar, which is where it's been ever since.
Okay, so let's go into the sanctuary. A few weeks ago, your associate came out and said, "Would you like to see the shrine closer?" Because I think I had a collar, or at least I introduced myself. Yeah, so I did. But I've said Mass here. I used to come with the students from DePaul High School in Wayne, New Jersey, as part of our history of religion, and we were able to celebrate Mass on our way to visiting the shrine and the cloisters. Okay, let's get closer and see the. Okay. I may not be able to get up, so I'll need Mother Cabrini's assistance. The flowers are beautiful. Okay, why don't you hold this, and let's talk about the beautiful reliquary.
Yeah, it's a thing. According to the Times article that I have from the day of the translation, it said the whole thing weighs 1,600 pounds. I don't know, that might be a little hyperbole, but it's pretty heavy. And because it's glass, it's thick glass, and it's quite the thing. So, and her, people, we have a lot of people who come in and say, is she incorrupt? No, she's not incorrupt. Her body, when they did they exhumed her body initially, it had decayed, subject to the normal cause of, the way that things go. And so, but her relics are in here with few exceptions, few pieces elsewhere, and the mask and the hands are wax. So,
is the clothing ever changed? Because I see here the black veil is a little faded.
well, to do that would require the Vatican giving us permission to open it. So that, because anytime that we'd want to open it, we'd have to have it sealed. It's sealed for good. So it has to be more than just aesthetic to try and change anything. Yeah.
And based on the photos, that's a beautiful rendition of her face. It's so much at peace. Beautiful. The girls who attended the school, it was all female school, right? What was their impression of coming here and seeing this in their school and at their church when they had mass?
Well, I wasn't there, but I could, based on what I know people experience when they come here, yes, I can give you some ideas. Yes. Some people are profoundly moved, the people who understand what relics are and already have a devotion to her. It's a profound experience. It's just, you see people and they're kneeling here for 10, 15 minutes with their whole families. Yeah. And then there are other people who come in and kind of go, oh, what's that? And what am I supposed to do with it? I know there are people who've come here for Mass for a long time and haven't realized that that's actually her. So there's a wide range of reactions, but that's okay.
And she became a citizen, American citizen. Yeah. So she was the first naturalized saint, an American saint, canonized by the church. So we have here in our presence the history of a saint. I mean, we have plenty of saints in the United States now. We have John Newman and Mother Seton, but here, another one, a historical figure based on our own history as Catholics and as American Catholics. And I think it's so significant that her ministry was to immigrants. And again, I'm profoundly impressed with that. But not only that, education and healthcare. Think of all the key elements that are so hot topics today. She was there in the early 1900s building a missionary society dedicated to healthcare, education, welfare of the individuals. I mean, everything. She hit it all.
And what she really wanted to hit was the heart.
Yes.
I mean, she did the other things because that's part of the way to the heart, is to know that you're cared for. But really what she cared about was souls. I mean, she was fiercely hungry to save souls and to draw people closer to God.
That's great. And also for New York, a very significant aspect of her ministry was here, but was, as you heard, all over the country and out throughout the world. But New Yorkers, you're so lucky. I mean, and blessed. So come here and visit the shrine and get a little history of Mother Cabrini under your belts, because she's affecting us even today. And earlier on, Julia promised me to give us a little insight as to her effect today in society. And we're going to go to that section next as we walk around the church and see some of the other relics. Julia, thank you so much. This has been wonderful, and I look forward to the next phase. This is Father Louis Skirty with Julia Attaway at the Shrine of Mother Cabrini. Northern Manhattan. Is it Washington Heights? Yeah. The Heights. Bye-bye.